Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be reviewing and talking about the series of the Vampire Academy. I recently just finished Vampire Academy and I wanted to make a video about it because I know it's an older series and I know there has been many movie and TV adaptations of it. I wanted to talk about the series, read it myself. I was first interested in this series back when the movie came out. I don't know if you all saw it, but I saw it, and so I was curious as to what happens in the second book, what happens to the storyline with Lissa and Rose and Dimitri. Found out it was a book, and then I started to read it about last year or so, and I just recently finished it, so I wanted to share what I thought. I don't have any of the physical books with me because I did read it all on my Kindle. This book was first released back in 2007, so please keep that in mind when we're talking about this because, again, some things were accepted back then and some, obviously they should have never been accepted, but they were. And so let's keep that in mind when we're reading and talking about going through all of the books, and then I will also be giving you my rating on each book. The first Vampire Academy book, which is called, of course, Vampire Academy, sets the scene with Rose and Lissa. Lissa is a Moroi, also a vampire, a princess in the royal court, and all of her family just recently passed away in a car accident that she and her best friend Rose were in. They were coming back from a vacation and all of her family died except for her and Rose. Rose is a Dhampir, which Dhampirs are half vampires, half humans, and Dhampirs are usually in charge of guarding the Morois, as Morois are heavily been discriminative and killed, so they have guardians to protect them, especially Royal Moroi have many guardians. Rose and Lissa first met in kindergarten back at St. Vladimir's Academy, which is the Vampire Academy. With also having Moroi Dhampirs, there's also Strigoi, which Strigois are basically the stereotypical vampires. They suck the life out of you. They are on a killing spree. They are just out for blood. My rating on book one, actually, I would probably give it a 3 or 4 out of 5 because the movie is actually very similar to it. So I wouldn't say it is my favorite, but I wouldn't say it was the least. Then we get to book two, which is Frostbite. This is when we really get to see Rose and Dimitri relationship keep growing and how it is honestly forbidden because yes, he is her mentor, but he's also significantly older than her. He is 25 and she is barely going to turn 18, and so their relationship is almost really weird. And again, this is set back in 2007, people, so try to go past it if you can, but it does take a toll on their relationship of having that big age gap. So the whole time, Dimitri is trying to not get in a relationship with Rose, and Rose is also trying not to because then she will not be his mentee and she wouldn't be able to be guardian to Lissa as well. We also get to meet Rose's mother, which is Janine, and she's really hardcore. And I don't know, they have a really weird relationship. And there we also see the blossom of Rose and Mason's newfound relationship. Mason is Rose's other best friend, guardian best friend, other than Lissa. And he has always been head over heels for her, but finally she is trying to see the bright side of him and try to get to know him because she does know that she can't be with Dimitri. And honestly, Frostbite was one of the saddest books ever. It made me lose my mind. Like, the ending is so sad and I don't want to give anything away, but it is very sad. I cried and I was in shock. It was a twist and turn, so I did rate it a 5-star. Finally, we're in book 3, which is Shadow Kiss. Here we learn more about Lissa's magic, which she is a spirit user, which focuses mostly on the mind. Not only do we learn about Lissa and the spirit user, but we also learn about what it is to be spirit bonded and how it takes a toll on Rose and both Lissa. I actually rated this book a 4-star. It wasn't my favorite, but I did love learning more about the spirit bond. Finally, we are in book 4, which is Blood Promise. Rose does drop out of the academy and goes on her own adventure, and Lissa does stay, and this is where we get to see the experiences and the other society around the world of the Moroi, and we get to learn more about Dhampirs, we get to learn more about Strigoi and spirit users, And I honestly really loved reading this book. I genuinely loved learning more. And with that, I actually rated this book a 5-star because, again, I love learning about the background of Moroi and their society and the Strigoi. I just really love it. We are at the 5th book, which is Spirit Bound. This is where Rose comes back to the academy. They have finally accepted her and acknowledge how many Strigoi she killed on her journey to go find Dimitri. The Guardians actually become impressed by her and actually respect her more. So there kind of is like a jailbreak and a lot of lying and deceiving. And it's almost like very spy-like. It's very cool. This book I actually rated a 4-star. It felt more like a filler book. I don't know, it wasn't really my favorite, but it also wasn't bad because, again, you're learning so much about the society. And finally, we are at the 6th book, which the very last one is called Last Sacrifice. This is when the royal court kind of goes into shambles. Of course, this is the last book, so everything really gets tied up towards the end. I don't want to give you spoilers of anything really, but I definitely recommend reading it and trying to see what happens to all the characters, because there is a lot of characters coming into play, but you don't really get confused by it. With this, and I love how it ended, and with that, the series is concluded, but it does leave a lot of things on cliffhangers and unfinished. So there is a second series called Bloodlines. I actually didn't know there was a second series when I started all this, and I haven't decided if I'm going to read it because, again, I did love Vampire Academy. I love Rose as a character. She's very funny, witty, honest, outspoken, and I really resonated with that. And with the second series, I know that Rose isn't in it as much. It is more around a different character that we have learned. But if you have read Bloodlines or are interested in it or will read it, let me know. I just haven't wanted to take the plunge because I also want to finish my other series that I'm reading. So overall, I think the average I would give this series is a 5-star. I did love Vampire Academy. I understand why people loved it. If you can get past the age gap, it's really good. But let me know if you have read Vampire Academy, if you've seen the show or the movie, if anything really stood out to you. I know a lot of people did read it because it was an international bestseller back in the early 2000s. But I did not read it until this year, and I honestly know why it was. It was well written. I loved the characters. I love everything happening, and it was a great fantasy, thriller, paranormal read. So if you were looking for something in that ballpark, I definitely would recommend this to you. Overall, a good story. Let me know if you've read Vampire Academy, but that is the end of this video. I will see you very soon, and if not, I hope you have a happy holidays.